folks, quite the rainy day in the Bay Area today, but it's about to really heat up inside Maples Pavilion because we got number 2 Stanford and Arizona State in Pac-12 women's basketball action right here on Pac-12 Network. And hey, folks, we welcome you inside the building. We are courtside Kevin Dan alongside the great Tammy Blackburn, and what a time of year it is. It's about to be 2023, and it's the start of Pac-12 play.
Kevin, Happy New Year to you. We have one more before we say goodbye to 2022, and we always like to do things, something a little different. It is Coach Natasha Adair for ASU. It's her first time in Maples. We are in Maples, a historic place, and we're watching the number 2 Stanford Cardinal. Doesn't get any better than that.
And it doesn't get any better than having 2 All-Americans on your team in Haley Jones and Cameron Brink.
Yeah, I think, for Haley Jones, for me, these are the 2 best players in the duo in the nation. Nobody does it better than these 2. Jones just so effective in the pick and roll, great in transition, the early post-ups, and they really put a lot of pressure. Running a new offense. Now they've moved Haley out from the post, and they're letting her go outside. Cameron Brink, really an offensive threat from just about everywhere on the court. She'll step out and take the 3, but it's her defense that she is committed to, and this is a defensive team for Stanford, 4th in the Pac-12 in scoring defense. These 2 numbers, Jones can play all 5 positions. They don't need her in the post. They've moved her away from that. 73% of her shots are in the paint. She does that through not only transition, but pick and roll perfection. I love watching highlights of Jones in that pick and roll. Cameron Brink, told you she's a monster on the glass, but it's 43 blocks. That's 2nd in NCAA. Her first year, 88. Second year, 91. With 43, she is on pace to beat that 91. She's 4th in Pac-12. 40 minutes of action play. We want her to stay in and play. We got to keep her out of foul trouble.
Yeah, that's been one bugaboo of hers, but she has gotten better at that as time has gone on. Ty Skinner, nobody scores better than her in the conference.
She is going from good to great, and head coach Natasha Adair, she came to ASU, and Ty Skinner came with her. She says, I want to play for Coach A. We know that her rookie year at Delaware was one of those, I have to pay my dues and earn it, but now she is stepping up as a player. She shoots the rock, and Tara Vandiver says, no 3s for number 3. Great scout.
And it should be a really fun game here at Maples Pavilion. Don't go anywhere. We got the starting lineups and the opening tip on the other side of this timeout. And we welcome you back to Maples Pavilion. Fans fighting through the weather here to make their way to see the second game in conference play for both Stanford and Arizona State. Cardinal 13-1, Arizona State 7-5, running out this starting 5. But Jaden Simmons, Ty Skinner, Treasure Hunt, Meg Newman, and Kayla Makwa for the first-year head coach Natasha Adair. And for Stanford, Talana Lopolo, Hannah Jump, Haley Jones, Cameron Brink, and Kiki Ariapan. This has been the same starting lineup for the 12th straight game for the GOAT, Tara Vandiver. 1,170 wins. That is a record. '37th season at the helm. A fantastic coach as Natasha Adair. She has won wherever she has been, Tammy, and she is used to taking over for some legends in other programs. So this is nothing new to her, taking over for the legendary Charlie Turner-Thorne.
Well, she's looking forward to building her own culture at ASU. She's doing a good job in that non-conference, but now she says we are in conference time. We are in phase 2 of our season, so we're going to get battle tested.
Good ball movement here from Stanford to start. They get it inside to Ariapan, back out to Hannah Jump, one of the most lethal three-point shooters in the country.
Yeah, you don't need to give her a lot of room, but it's quick ball movement on that left-hand side of the court. And you just watch Stanford and how fluid they are in their ball screen motion, a lot of continuity. They get a lot of different cuts out of a lot of different concepts. Very difficult to guard.
Ty Skinner trying to answer back, couldn't quite do so there. Hannah Jump, by the way, 49% from downtown this year coming in. Ariapan met down low by Simmons, but finishes on the second attempt.
You see how quick Kiki Ariapan will get down the floor. She's a hustle player. Yesterday in practice, they were running sprints, and she beat everybody, Kevin, including the guards. Long stride, but she has a lot of heart. She wants to grow. She wants to be on the court.
She's a skilled player. She was working on her three shoot around today, and she was knocking it down. That could be in her future. gets the rebound. Nice spin move, finishing with the left.
You can see what they're doing already. Stanford really spreading the floor. First of all, their spacing is remarkable. One of the best spacing teams offensively in the nation. But they're isolating Erie often because they know that she is going to be a tough matchup for ASU. She can pin her defenders, and she'll use that glass.
Good start for the Cardinal, up 7-0. Here's Jaden Simmons in her junior season, drawing the foul.
Let's go back to Erie Offin running the hardwood. You're going to get rewarded. Look at her. She's just right in the center, left all alone. And, you know, that's a tough matchup because here's the thing. Jaden Simmons has to worry about Hannah Jump, who also filled her lane in the corner. So you got to play cat and mouse. Do you go with Erie Offin or Hannah Jump?
That is a tough choice there. That's what Ty Skinner can do. She can hit some really tough shots.
Yeah, and Stanford knows that. I mean, she is a baller. 26 points the other night in their loss at the McHale Center against Arizona.
And a scrappy defender as well, stripping Cameron Brink. Setting up treasure hunt. The Kentucky transfer finds Meg Newman a little strong from the baseline, and the rebound tap to Haley Jones.
Boy, Erie Offin had a mismatch there on Skinner. Haley Jones thought about it.
Makwa recovered well. Hannah Jump, 2 for 2 from downtown.
Hannah Jump's three-point shot is a thing of beauty. Statistically, it's her points per possession. She's first in the Pac-12 in pace of play, points of possession, 24th in the nation. Her effective field goal percentage, which is a combination of the value of that three-point shot and field goal percentage, is absolutely huge at over 70%.
That's astronomical. And there is another block for Cameron Brink, the 223rd of her career. And a jump in and out. As it gets knocked out of play, staying with Stanford. Cameron Brink with the block here. This is some really impressive stuff, Tammy.
Yeah, Stanford is just impressive defensively for me this year. I know that a lot of people talk about the fact that they're second in scoring in the league with 84 points and 8th in the nation, but I want to talk about the fact that they hold their opponents to 56 points, and they're also great on the rebounding edge. They don't give up a lot of offensive rebounds to their opponents, so they protect the rim and they deep.
Very often short on that jumper as it goes out of play. To your point, Tammy, they collect 80% of the opponent's misses. That defensive rebounding percentage is through the roof.
Yeah, you're not going to get good looks at the rim. They're going to force you to take a jump shot from long range or inside the arc. They really protect the rim, but they're kind of one and done if you're their opponent. They like to grab it off the rim or out of the basket and go.
Skinner missing from distance, and there's Haley Jones with the grab and go that Tammy alluded to. Good extra pass to Lopolo for 3. And Erie Offin was fouled going for the rebound.
Stanford exemplifies 3 things for me on this floor, and that is transition. Then they go into, out of transition, if they don't get a run out, they go into early post-ups. And then they look for that half-court offense if they don't get an early post-up. They have a lot of players that can run the floor. Tara Vanderveer, her staff know how talented they are. And they're going to hurt you with that transition and early post-ups. But then they get into their half-court offense and look at what they can do. They can run sets like this where they cross and they provide mismatches or isolations where Brink already had her defender pinned, clapped her hands in essence of calling for the ball, and almost just had an easy drop-step layup. Look at this inbound play. Now a cut. Hannah Jump going and setting a screen to get who open? Brink. It's great under the basket camera work there.
Happy birthday to Cameron Brink, by the way.
Birthday indeed.
Her 21st, we've been told.
On New Year's Eve, 21. Sounds dangerous post-game.
What a time to be alive.
We're not the hanging out kind.
Yeah,
we're not good enough to hang out with Cameron Brink on her birthday.
Definitely not. Lopolo good enough defensively there, though, to get the turnover. Nice screen set by Brink. Cam, good extra pass to Hannah Jump, her 3rd 3 of the game.
Well, you had a couple options. I mean, Kevin, you and I know that Cameron can shoot that shot, but she recognizes, and this is what makes this team so great, they're so unselfish, that Jump has the hot hand from 3, so why not give it over to Jump?
Good shot to great shot there from the Cardinal. Isadora Souza into the game, number 44. And here's Treasure Hunt trying to dial from long distance. Offensive rebound, and Meg Newman a little strong on the push attempt. In close, gets it back. Third opportunity, and Souza pays it off.
Yeah, great effort there by Meg Newman, just kind of hanging around. Souza was there. Isadora doing a good job. The 6-foot senior guard, Meg Newman. Good to see her healthy.
Very often getting fouled, and you're talking about Meg Newman. She has been on a tear recently. Against Prairie View A&M, 12 points, 18 rebounds. Most rebounds for a Sun Devil since Jatavia Tapley did it 3 years ago, and then followed it up with a near double-double against Arizona, 10-9.
Well, I'm glad that you were, bringing up a couple of those points. She was very highly recruited when Charlie Turner Thorne went out and got her, the number 33 overall. She was 6th ranked in her position. And Charlie Turner Thorne talked to us about how much she was going to be able to contribute. And unfortunately, she did not play last year because of that injury. But she is a money ball in terms of rebounding. And Kevin, this ASU team will look to get the ball more into the hands of Meg Newman.
Both free throws scored by Kiki Ariapin, and Ashton Prechtel checks in for her. There's just so much post depth for the Cardinal.
Ashton can run the floor. She's one of those early post-up dangers. She can also step out for the 3. Look at how they cut off baseline. They don't want Simmons to be able to get to the rim.
She'll fire up a long ball, and that's strong. Haley Jones looking ahead. Perfect pass to Prechtel, who draws the blocking foul on Simmons.
That's a transition right there. That's what we talk about, is that on the miss, ASU misses and then Stanford goes in transition, but it's Hannah jump early with the 3 splash there. And she's feeling it again. Lopolo gets the assist. Hannah jump climbing up the charts on the 3-point line. And why not? 3 in a row. 18-5 lead for the Stanford Cardinal. Women's basketball over ASU. This is the epitome of the motion offense and their ball screen motion. Watch Stanford and their patience. That's 3 passes. Count them with me. 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at this ball movement. Kick it back out. 8. Look at the spacing as well as you take a look at it. 5 seconds on the shot clock. And Hannah jump makes a 3. This is flip the pick. Cameron Brink tries to go over set a pick. Watch her flip it. I'm going to turn around and go on the other side. Hannah Jump says, I'm going to use that second one after you flip the pick. And then she steps up and makes a 3. A thing of beauty when you take a look and break down film, Kevin. Really hard not to be so impressed with the half-court offense of the Cardinal.
Yeah, it is really impressive stuff that Tara Vanderveer and staff have drawn up this year. Saw a couple of Hannah Jump 3s in those highlights. She now has 231 for her career. You mentioned she's moving up the charts. She is 6 away from tying Bonnie Samuelson for 5th all-time in Stanford history.
I like that, Kevin. Bonnie Bauman.
Oh,
yeah. Did you trademark that?
That's what we used to call her back in the day, because she was lethal from beyond the arc. Elena Bozgana is checked in for the Cardinal. The lead is 20-5. Kevin, Dana, Tammy Blackburn with you. As Jaden Simmons just couldn't quite get it to go. A pest in the backcourt.
I like the take by Jaden Simmons. I wanted to finish strong. It seemed just a little bit maybe too casual for me. I just wanted to go and attack. She's that good.
Nice little scoop to zip hoop there for Talana Lopolo. Newman trying to beat everyone down the floor. Stanford recovers well. Souza to Newman. And there's the second block of the game for Cameron Brink. It's a tie-up possession arrow ASU. And now she is 1 block away from tying the great Alana Smith for 2nd all-time in program history.
Yeah, watch Lopalo on the other side here. And she just sees a lane. And Skinner is giving her that side. Skinner taking away the left hand of Lopolo. But that's too much of a clean look there in a wide open lane. As you saw, that spacing allowed that open gap.
I know that teams play Lopolo to be a pass-first point guard, but if you give her a lane, you give her an open shot, she's going to take it, she's going to make it.
She does have the green light. Tara Vanderveer is so impressed with what she's done in her early minutes of play, working on making sure that she's starting to learn how to take care of the ball, and she's going to be better with her turnover numbers, Will Lopolo, but she's a great outlet pass. She is a key cog in the Cardinal transition that we talked about.
Treasure Hunt at the line, one of the best names in college basketball. The story behind it, her sister Raven had a friend named Treasure, and the two of them would joke that if you combine Raven's last name and Treasure's first name, that it would make the perfect name. And Treasure's mom, Keisha, agreed and named her Treasure.
I love the name and love the way that she plays. And you see the important stat for ASU at the free throw line in NCAA rankings. They get 17 free throws a game. 23.2 has them at 17th. Both Jaden Simmons and Skinner rank 6th and 7th respectively in free throw percentage, shooting in the 80s.
Really efficient from the foul line as Prechtel misses the three. It was those free throws that really kind of helped them win that game at Grand Canyon, a fantastic environment a few weeks back. Treasure Hunt will fire away and drills the three. She's not shooting it that well this year, but you take a look at her shot, she's much better than her percentages.
Well, she had great experience. She's a transfer out of Kentucky. She started in 30 of 45 games, double-figure score at Kentucky, and she played against the best, LSU, Tennessee.
She had a really good non-conference game against DePaul, who's a very good team, 18.7 rebounds against the Blue Demons.
Gold medalist in Team USA basketball, 3-on-3. One of the key transfers, and that is what Natasha Adair had to do when she came to ASU. Skinner from Delaware. There is Hunt from Kentucky talking about her. And Makwa from TSU in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and all three of them get minutes, three of them starting. There is Natasha Adair, who says, I just want my team to not worry about what we can't control, our injuries. They have a thin bench. She wants this team to hustle and play hard and have fun.
Foul down low. Really talked with their team at shoot-around today about toughness and what that means. It's not just the try to beat your player on the court. There's a lot that goes into it. You're running the floor, crashing the glass, being there for your teammates. It was a really nice conversation she had with her team after shoot-around today.
And I thought her timing of her Jay Billis toughness speech was really important, having lost to Arizona. This team has 3 conference games in 5 days. They are all on the road. It is tough. And she talked about the fact that she had 31 items to share with them from the Jay Billis sort of, toughness speech. She got in the huddle. She passed out the list of those 31 items. Things like get your teammate open, set early cuts, make hard cuts, talk to each other on D. Let's play team ball.
Ty Skinner setting up Hunt. And Brink got a piece of that before she let it go. And go out of bounds off Arizona State.
Great defense, and you didn't see in that replay right there the great closeout that Cameron Brink had, but she didn't give up a straight line drive. She made it tough for Hunt to have to go around, and that gives Brink time to be able to retreat and stay in her defensive position.
Apollo gets it ahead to India Navarro, just checked in. A lob for Brink is thrown a little too high.
Natasha Adair is saying the 31 things that I want my team to focus on is going to start today here in Maples at Stanford. There's no reason why it shouldn't. They're seeing what they're going to be dealing with night in and night out in conference. They know they're going to get battle tested.
Go inside to Makwa. And that shot altered by Cameron Brink, who gets the rebound. Just so tough to shoot over her length as Iriakin gets called for the offensive foul.
And these are the small victories for ASU that Coach Adair wants them to celebrate. They took an offensive charge against Iriakin, right? Iriakin transition. Look at this. The quick outlet, Brink, Lapolo. Guess who's already down there doing the early work? Iriakin. But Hunt was there doing her early work. And so that's the effort that you've got to have against Stanford, and that Adair is employing her team to have.
Lauren Betts has come on, the top recruit in the country in her class. She's had some really nice games in her freshman season. Hunt, tough shot, defended well by Lapolo, and Talana gets the rebound. Jones the kick ahead. They'll get into their half-court stuff. Brink on the drive, lays it in.
Again, the spacing is so impressive. cohesive, and they work really well together. Your teammate wouldn't bring your defender into the space where you're looking to isolate a player. So if Cameron Brink is on that strong elbow, if you're the deep wing, you get in the corner and stay, and I mean in the corner.
Ty Skinner bombing a triple, her second of the game. She leads all Sun Devils with 6 points. At 26 against Arizona. Scored in double figures every game this year. That's banked home by Navarre.
Great looking move inside the paint, working points for Stanford, but I love that long-range shot confidence by the fearless Skinner before that.
Brink already 6 rebounds now. Haley Jones pushing underneath, finds an open Navarre for 3. It's short, and Makwa the rebound.
Makwa had a 6'7" Lauren Betts behind her. She did a real good job of not giving up that O board. Which, by the way, Stanford is very, very good at. They rank first in offensive boards. They get about rebounding offense, I should say.
They collect just about 41% of their own misses. Really good stuff. As the buzzer sounds, it's Simmons who is short on the runner. And that will do it for the first quarter. 26-13, Stanford doubling up Arizona State behind 5.6 rebounds and 2 blocks from Cameron Brink. And this nice runner from India Navarre. Stanford by 13 as we head to the second quarter. Charlie Turner Thorne retiring at the end of last season. 25 years at the helm. The second most wins in Pac-12 history, trailing only Tara Vanderveer. Led the Sun Devils to 14 NCAA tournaments. Took them to the Elite 8 before a couple of Pac-12 regular season titles. Just a fantastic coaching career for CTT.
Well, Charlie Turner Thorne built and left a legacy that many coaches envy and cannot accomplish in their time, and that is what makes her so special. Not only that, but great in her community as well, and watched a lot of young players develop and grow up and be very successful professional women doing great things. And she's also now part of our Pac-12 network crew. Really wonderful to have her and to hear that voice in the studio come out with our dear friend Ashley Adamson. How amazing. And it's time to turn over the reins to Natasha Adair, who gets a chance, just like Charlie did more than 2 decades ago, to build her culture. And now Natasha Adair beginning to do the same.
Brianna Crisp with the nice bucket to get this within 11. One last note on Charlie Turner Thorne as jump hits in the mid-range. My favorite thing about Pac-12 Media Days every year when she was the head coach at Arizona State, her story to start off her podium session. Always some joke she would tell.
She always had great jokes to start off. In the beginning, there was one joke about 4 or 5 years ago that I'm not going to reshare because I don't think it probably would be appropriate. But
I think I know which one you're talking about.
It was involving one of her youngest sons and women's sports, and it was hilarious and had, breaks the ice a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's what Charlie Turner Thorne will do for you.
Always great to get a chance to talk to Coach Turner Thorne. Great to have her part of the Pac-12 Network's family now as Stanford gets it inside to Betson. She is fouled by Makwa, and that will be personal foul numero dos on Makwa.
Second personal Lauren Betts at 6'7", one of the tallest players. There were 2 others at 6'7" in this program. Hometown Centennial, Colorado. Great article written by our colleague and friend Michelle Smith recently about the patience that Lauren and Tara are having with each other about her playing time. She'd like to play more, but Tara says the work in progress. Now listen, she's going to be highly skilled, but she just needs time. It's a different transition out of high school, but she is remarkable, and her efficiency with her less than 10 minutes a game is very impressive for a freshman.
Yes, 6.5 points just about, and a little more than 4 rebounds per game in just 9 minutes per contest. Really impressive stuff from Lauren Betts. And a jump has hit 4 threes. That's keeping that possession alive. But it will be Arizona State basketball.
Early on, we saw Kiki Iriafen being isolated 4 in the post. A lot of great spacing. Cameron Brink out the 3-point line, and the perimeter players staying wide, and they're looking for their post to pin up. And now they're doing the same thing for Lauren Betts in their half-court offense.
Look, one reason why Lauren gets 9 minutes a game is because you also have Ashton Prechtel, Kiki Iriafen, Fran Believy, and Cameron Brink. I mean, just so deep they are down low.
Yeah, there's other post players that are battle tested and proven, right? I mean, that's what makes this team so deep and so good. Now that's a great swipe by Skinner. That's just hustle play right there.
That's the second time she has stripped the Stanford post as she misses the pull-up long, too. Had a foot on the line.
That'll be a learning, teaching moment for Lauren Betts.
Haley Jones is so good at that move right there. How many times have we seen her get into that spin move and then hit the shot from inside 10 feet or so?
34th in Stanford scoring. Scored her 1,000th career point last year. Celebrated her when she did that. Takes most shots on the team, but she shoots 48%.
Ty Skinner answering with another three. She's got 9 points. Jones gets bumped.
Not trying to get the foul. Great save between the legs. You know, that reminds me a little bit of a tennis move when you're chasing the ball back baseline and those tennis players, they hit it between their legs. I think Cameron Brink just invented a new way of saving the ball. Liking that.
Looking things up on her birthday. And a jump short on the three. Believy trying to keep it alive. Foul will go against Fran Believy. T-minus 4 hours and 56 minutes if you're on the West Coast. T-minus 3 hours and 56 minutes if you're in Arizona until 2023. Tammy, you got any New Year's resis?
I don't do resolutions because I'm just not good at them. But, you know, I think I just want continued good health, and so I'm going to continue to do what I need to do for me to make sure that that happens, and then just kindness for all of us in this world. Continue to be kind, random acts of kindness for people, and lift each other up, because that's, I think, a really nice way of living.
Well said, partner, as we get ready for the start of the second half. Great cut out of the halftime locker room. Brink finding Haley Jones for the layup.
Yeah, and that's just a curl play, right? They use that elbow action, and this is something that they do a lot. And I'm not surprised that they came right out and set the tone with that as a first play. They just want to try to keep ASU off balance. This is what you're talking about with all these little concepts and different cuts, and they just get different reads, and the curl action from elbow is there.
Really nice finish on the other end for Jaden Simmons, finishing around the rim protector Cameron Brink. Pull up from the foul line, always money for Haley Jones. She is a perfect 4 of 4 from the floor for 10 points. 2 quick buckets here in the second half for Haley. Treasure Hunt will fire away from deep, and that's short.
Haley Jones go up and get the rebound. She takes that point guard position. The polo fills at that 2 slot. There's the ball screen action where they try to isolate Kiki Iriafen. Again, they did this early on. Let's go back to that excellent play where Haley Jones scored. So you've got a 1-4 set, and this is called an Iverson play, right? So your wings exchange. One goes over, one goes under. They can use Haley Jones off the curl on the weak side elbow there, and they do. She was on that left side, and she went over the free throw line. The other wing player went under. Again, it's called Iverson. They run a lot of it. There's a lot of different looks out of it. You see it around the nation. On that time, that play, they got the curl. It's just pretty. I mean, our producer Dave Feldman can run that back for me 5 times, and I'd get as excited each time watching it, Kevin.
Tammy, we were talking with Coach Adair at shoot-around, and you were mentioning to her, and she was concurring, just the high-level professional stuff that Stanford runs.
Yeah, they start in a 1-4 set, and it's beautiful. Hannah jump. Oh my goodness.
Her 6th three. She's got 20 in this game. The backspin on that shot is just so pretty to watch.
Oh my goodness. Hannah jump.
Whether it's today or not, she is going to break the single game 3-point record at Stanford.
She will. She came into this game with 119 shots that she had taken, which is second on the team. 92 of the 119 were threes. 92 of her 119. And she just continues to raise those numbers up impressively.
Yeah, that's more than 3/4 of her shots beyond the arc, and today it's 9 of 10. Foul down low on the Sun Devils. All right, so the lead is ballooned to 22, but Tammy, if Arizona State is to get back into this game, they need to do what?
Well, for starters, you got to find some other ways of scoring other than Skinner, right? I think, they're settling for the three-pointer because that's what Stanford wants them to do. They want to force them to shoot long. They want to force every opponent, Stanford does, to beat them from the outside. They're going to protect the rim. But, plays like this, you love seeing this, right? Just some of the action that they're getting. A curl, just like Stanford ran, and Skinner just made a really good read, and she found the lane, and that's because she's fearless, and she has great effort, and she plays at good pace.
A good read, a quick read, no hesitation about it from Ty Skinner as Brink is strong on the dribble. Nice crossover dribble for Jaden Simmons, but takes it into trouble and gets tied up with Kiki Iriafen. Possession arrow will keep it with ASU.
Natasha Adair saying that we are still trying to find our identity, creating who we are, the change in the coaching staff. Change is hard. She understands that. Change is also good, and they're trying to put these building blocks and these pieces together. All the while in conference, Kevin, trying to worry about scout and try to simulate teams in practice, which is very tough to do because of the level of talent in the Pac-12.
We were around, shoot around today. You were at practice yesterday. I think the feeling that both you and I got as Souza hits a nice three off the bounce is that we are all aboard the Adair train. I think there are going to be really good times ahead for Arizona State women's basketball.
Yep, it's going to take time. She knows that. She has to give herself grace and patience, just like any coach taking over a new program. Being able to coach her own philosophies and put those philosophies in, but she has got a team that is pretty thin and banged up. In the Zoom call earlier this week with Coach A, she thought maybe she'd have 7 or 8 players.
Luckily, got it up to 9. Nice pass inside, Makwa via Skinner. And Arizona State was down 22, but they've scored the last 7 to get within 15. That doesn't live too long, though, because Lapolo hits the three right back at him.
We've talked a lot about the Cardinal and their pick and roll perfection, and we're going to see a lot of pick and roll out of this ASU team this year, and I'm pretty sure in Coach Adair's philosophies moving forward. But that was very, very effective on the pick and roll. You get a good screen, the defender gets caught, you got some speed going to the lane, and if you're a good finisher in the lane, it's going to work for you.
Shot too strong there from Ty Skinner. Well contested in transition, Hannah jump, looking for Brink. Driving on Makwa, and there is the double-double for the birthday girl, Cameron Brink.
Out of transition. Cameron Brink, happy birthday. You can have your cake and eat it too.
11, 12, 4, and 2 blocks for number 22 in white tonight. Parents sitting courtside as Makwa misses the jumper. Treasure Hunt for 3. That one's perfect.
That's an O-board 3, right? That's a miss and a kick out for an O-board. And those are the points. This is how they get back in it, Kevin. When you ask that question, it's that second effort, O-board to a 3-point shot.
Perfect time to shoot a 3. After the offensive rebound. Haley Jones behind the Iriafen screen, rattles out. Looking to post up Makwa. And gets fouled on the baby hook.
Number 24 for Arizona State to go to the line.
Half-court offense, Chuck getting it back out to Lapoa. She goes for the 3, and that's the one that came right after a really pretty bucket for ASU. And then there's the catch and rip, take it all the way to the glass. Cameron Brink shooting 61%. And when you look at her shot chart, Kevin, through Synergy, a software platform that a lot of coaches will use, you see a major cluster for Cameron Brink where she has a high shooting percentage at 72% right under the basket and right around the arch, and that's where she's going to score the bulk of her points. But she does have some three-point shooting ability. They get the value of that three-point shot from her and Prechtel, Hannah Jump, Lopolo, Dimitri as well.
Yep, and that's 72% around the rim. That is well above the collegiate average. So just elite level stuff from Cameron Brink as Haley Jones tries to get into a reverse and gets fouled.
Something that ASU wants to continue to work on as they crawl back into this is don't lose sight of the Stanford players cut off baseline. We're going to take a break and we'll be back right after this.
The Brinks and the Currys sitting courtside. Those families have been linked together quite some time, going back to their days at Virginia Tech. Cameron Brink, the goddaughter of Dell and Sonia Curry, who you see on your screen there. And her mother, Cam's mom, was roommates with Sonia, and her father, Greg, was teammates with Dell for the Hokies.
Here to celebrate Cameron Brink's 21st birthday, sitting courtside. Exciting, and Cameron Brink is earning every bit of celebration on this special day that is hers, a New Year's Eve baby.
From Beaverton, Oregon, as both free throws are made by Haley Jones. She's got 12, right around her season average as Stanford pumps the lead up to 18. Treyana Crisp over to Skinner, nearly lost it and did.
Crisp just didn't have anywhere to go. Haley Jones was not going to give up middle, taking away Crisp's right hand, so you got to be able to use both hands and try to create. I thought that maybe Crisp had a lane, but Haley Jones has some size on Crisp, and even if she beat and turned the corner on Jones, Jones is long enough in their length, could retreat to come back and either tip a pass or a shot.
Prechtel operating up top. Good pass inside. Cam Brink just too tall for everyone else down low.
The double and a mismatch. She had Skinner fronting her and Hunt on the back of her. And Haley Jones Prechtel still went to the high-low action.
Makwa trying to get it back. Prechtel says, Stanford looking to push the lead. Nice look inside. Haley Jones reversing with the left. Nicely done.
She got below the free throw line, passed it out, and that spacing allowed her to, they had like a low 1-4 set, right? And Haley just turned around and showed her hands again after she passed that out, and that was just 1v1, and Jones going to, 9 times out of 10, going to win that battle.
Crisp flinging that one up. Makwa rips away the rebound and gets fouled going back up. Good work by Makwa inside.
Let's go back to that double team on Brink and Prechtel from the outside. She goes way over the top. Now, Skinner really doesn't have a shot at that ball as she's fronting Brink, but all Hunt can do, and then at the other end, this is where I talk about Jones gets below the free throw line. It's like a 1-4 set at that point. Jones says, well, if we're not going to have any movement, let me just show my numbers because now I've got an isolated, now I'm just 1v1.
Makwa at the line. This is her third school, a grad transfer from TCU. First 2 years were at George Washington. Her position coach at TCU is Abi Olajuwon, Hakeem's daughter.
Yep.
And now Abi Olajuwon, an assistant with the Connecticut Sun.
Just saw that announcement the other day.
Congrats to her.
Makwa pursuing a master's degree in healthcare innovation. Already has a degree. And I'm all for her earning a master's degree from ASU in healthcare innovation because God knows our healthcare could be reinvented with some innovation.
That is so putting it politely.
I am pulling for Kayla Makwa on more than just the basketball court.
Definitely.
She had a lot of great starts at TCU. In fact, she played in all but one game, got some starts under the head coach there, Reagan Peebley.
Block for Haley Jones, rejecting Crisp on her take to the 10.
This is what I'm talking about. When you get beat, your length for Stanford, the length of Stanford, you can still tip from the back because they're so long.
Prechtel, the nice box out, gets the board. Lopolo, head up, looking for jump. Quick trigger, triple doesn't drop.
Did you see how deep Hannah Jump went to the corner so as not to bring her defender into the post where Cameron Brink was on that same strong side as her, that spacing, right? Those details matter in your game. And we used to see that with Kiana Williams at Stanford. She would stand in the corner so deep she was out of bounds, but that's because your defender has to step up and guard you, and you're drawing your defense away from the posts.
Brink. First two tries don't work out, so go up for a third and get fouled. For Ty Skinner, that will be her second personal foul, as Frank looks for points 14 and 15 of the evening.
So much talked about with Brink and her offense and her blocking prowess. She had more blocks last year with those 91 individual blocks than 168 Division I teams did as a whole.
That's like half of the country.
Yeah, there's 362 D1 teams.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Arizona State's gone in a bit of a drought. They haven't scored from the field in 3.5 minutes, missing 7 of their last 8. Skinner trying to provide a jolt, and almost does. Lopolo letting it smartly hop out of play.
I like that take, little ball screen, and she saw that Ashton Prechtel did not come up and hedge. So Skinner said, before I go too far, she's a smart, heady player. She's not going to go down there where Ashton Prechtel is. We'll pull up jumper. That'll get better for her.
Brink gets it to go. Now 17 for Brink. Lead up to 24. Hunt, nice shot fake, and draws the foul, stepping through on Brink, and that'll be the first personal on Cameron Brink. So she gave a birthday gift of her own to Tara Vanderveer by staying out of foul trouble to this point in the game. Hunt sinking the first free throw. Was a 5-star recruit out of high school at Hamilton Heights Christian Academy, where she was coached by her mom, Keisha. Chattanooga native. It's both. Sydney Erikstrup checking in. There she is, number 11 on your screen, the junior from Portland. Arizona State picking up full court. Prechtel missing the 3 short. Skinner pulls up in transition. Good look.
Yeah, you almost knew it. That's part of her game, and going to continue to be part of her game. She'll be a threat there. Nobody stepped up and stopped ball. Skinner recognizes that. And she has an excellent 3-point shot.
And came into this game over her last 6 games shooting 45% from downtown, 38% on the season. Brink kicks it out to India Navarre. The freshman finding the senior Haley Jones, and Skinner playing that dogged defense. Now it's Simmons guarding her as it's lost out of play. Good harassing defense there by Simmons and Ty Skinner.
Yeah, caused the turnover, trying to make Stanford uncomfortable, a little pressure. She has no quit. She is all fight.
Skinner spinning around his screen, but lost it to Prechtel.
Great story about Skinner coming in from Delaware following Coach Adair. She says it was just obvious. It's what I wanted to do. She was so impressed when she saw Delaware recruiting her at a high school game. She says, but I had to learn how to build trust with some of these players at ASU because she was the only one that knew Coach Adair.
Yeah.
And some of the returners, she said, I had to build their trust. A lot of times you're building trust with your coach. Skinner was building trust with her teammates. And it's a work in progress, but it's happening.
And Coach Adair was telling us she's really kind of learned how to become a leader this year. We talked about her cheerleading from the bench. She has developed a nice partnership with Jaden Simmons on the court. Stories have been written about that. They are a really nice 1-2 punch. And the thing about Ty Skinner, she really is a student of the game. I think it was Jeff Metcalf who wrote the story that she'd call Coach Adair 1 or 2 hours after the game and ask if Coach has rewatched it yet, because Ty has rewatched it and said, Coach, I should have done X, Y, and Z better.
Coach Adair hasn't even gotten to film, and Skinner's already self-coaching from the game, right? Those are things you can't coach and can't teach. That's just a want. I thought Skinner did a remarkable job of handling the media well after their loss at Arizona, where there were over 9,000 people in the McKill Center. She said she loved the crowd. She wasn't shaken by the crowd. She appreciated that they came out to watch women's basketball. And she said, what a great environment. I've never played in any such environment. And so she has that experience for herself. And I also thought that she handled the interview very maturely. And she congratulated the number of fans that came and showed up.
Fractal just missing the 3 to beat the buzzer. And we got ourselves a 19-point ball game as we go to the 4th. Stanford looking to stay undefeated in Pac-12 play. 75-56 is Haley Jones with a nice look inside, setting up Hannah Jump, who's got 6 threes tonight for the Cardinal. Up by 19 going into the 4th.
I'm Haley Jones of Cardinal Women's Basketball. This crew is about the rich history of athletics at Stanford.
Stanford Athletics 200.
In 1896, the first intercollegiate women's basketball game pitted Stanford against this team, our biggest rival. With only women allowed as spectators for modesty, Agnes Morley came up big, and we beat them 2-1.
Amy, what is Cal?
Yes, Berkeley, that's correct.
Earlier this year, Haley Jones, you got to see, had the chance to host a category on Jeopardy about Stanford sports. And she is interested in broadcasting. Of course, she's going to have a long professional basketball career. Hey, we can see her behind the mic as well.
Oh, sure. She'd be highly entertaining. She's incredibly bright, articulate. Can't wait to see what happens with Haley Jones, and she did a great job. I actually had marked my calendar for that Jeopardy evening because I wanted to see it. Very, very exciting.
One great Jeopardy guest host with a great Jeopardy contestant. You saw Amy Schneider there. She won 40 straight on Jeopardy. One of the longest, I think, the second or third longest running streak in Jeopardy history.
Ken Jennings had one of the longest streaks.
Yeah.
Now is sort of a co-host, if you will. I think when you think about Haley Jones being on Jeopardy, not as a contestant, but as a question host, I think it really speaks to not only Stanford University, but where women's basketball has come. And, a lot, that all comes from Tara Vanderveer, right? A pioneer. It's really remarkable. That's just really a lot of respect.
Yeah, 100%. Good drive by India Navarre. She gets fouled. She'll shoot 2. And we've seen record ratings recently for WNBA playoffs, NCAA Women's Final Four. Popularity continues to peak for women's basketball collegiately and professionally.
People are watching.
Nice to get a WNBA team in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
what do you say?
It would be. Tara Vanderveer. Kevin, women's basketball at Stanford has been going at it for 49 years. Tara has not been here for all of those. But collectively, in 49 years of Stanford women's basketball, 1,194 wins. Tara at Stanford has 1,018 of those. Imagine that. 1,018 of a total of university wins for women's basketball. 1,194.
Yeah.
You can't get any better.
No, it's like 85% of their total wins or something like that. It's incredible.
There's no legacy is almost an understatement, right?
Yeah. And she's still going strong in her 37th season.
She is.
There is no slowing down. Got a great staff. You see, surrounded by Kate Pay, Katie Stedding, and Brittany Anderson. Pay and Stedding having played for her and having won national championships as players here. The polo is wide open for three.
She's 2 of 3, and she is getting more comfortable and cozy from that three-point line as this season goes on, and that is dangerous for Pac-12 opponents.
She's up to 38% from deep on the season coming in. So's a nice look inside to Newman, but called for the double dribble. Thought maybe Betts got a piece of that. And we got a big one on Monday. A rematch of the 2021 National Championship game. 18th ranked Arizona and number 2 ranked Stanford. Here on Pac-12 Network at 11:30 a.m. as Lauren Betts gets her first bucket of the game.
So many top 25 and top 20 matchups in this Pac-12 throughout the year because of the rankings of these teams, and not just net rankings, but top 25 as well. It's going to be a great season. It already has been for the Pac-12. Talked about the best non-conference record hosted this year by Pac-12 women's basketball. Impressed but not surprised.
Yeah. As Haley Jones loves that pull-up from about 12 to 15 feet. It's one reason why her paint percentage is so good, is that shot right there. Haley's got 16, but you mentioned 5 Pac-12 teams in the top 20 in the national rankings. Stanford number 2, UCLA 10, Utah 11, Oregon 17, Arizona 18. Skinner on the pull-up, too strong. Navarre the rebound. Pushing in transition, and now we'll slow it down.
Here's a note for ASU, speaking of top 25, as Lauren Betts goes up top after a great pass from Prechtel from the outside. If the current ranked teams maintain Pac-12 their top 25 status over the next few weeks, ASU will be facing a ranked opponent in 5 of its first 8 league games.
Welcome to the Pac-12, Natasha Adair.
Great nugget. Thank you, Steve Rodriguez, Associate Sports Information Director, who is convalescing at home after having shoulder surgery earlier this week. We love Steve. We wish him the best, wishing him well. One of the hardest working SIDs in the nation.
He is a legend, as we see.
Look at this pick and roll action. Haley Jones as the ball handler just gets into the paint. It's a big screen from Ashton Prechtel. Makes a big presence at 6'5". Whether you go on top or whether you go under, still Haley Jones easily getting into that paint. Just another weapon that this team has. By the way, Haley Jones, statistically on her pick and roll, she has an excellent rating. She's 7th in the conference in pick and roll points scored. And she's 4th in the conference in taking the most attempts out of the pick and roll action. A lot of teams run that pick and roll action.
Yeah, no, good numbers there on Haley Jones as Chris throws it away on the inbounds, and Prechtel in transition lays it up and in. Ashton Prechtel with her first field goal. She's got 4 points after hitting a couple of freebies earlier.
Well, you know, she deserves that bucket because she ran the floor, but she's also had some great assists from the outside.
Yep.
The high low to Brink, the great pass inside, setting a great pick to get her teammate open. All those little things not on the stat sheet. Now she gets her points.
The lead is 27 for the Cardinal. Treasure Hunt at 17. She's had a nice night. Long 2 is going to drop in for Treasure Hunt. Arizona State still fighting hard defensively. Prechtel at 3 this time. Doesn't go. Offensive rebound. Betts getting fouled. Could go on either Newman or Simmons.
Prechtel at 6'5" has length, and when you run the floor with length, you get down the floor in a couple of strides. That's just a nice up and over pass. Beautiful lob by Bozgana. Had her head up, and Prechtel turned around and pointed to her teammate Bozgana, who was the first player in program history from Europe. Remember that great senior national team. Good to see her getting some playing time.
Now they have 2 players from Greece on their team. Is Stavi Papadaki, who we haven't seen yet, a freshman. Offensive foul on Navarre. And the charge taken there by Jaden Simmons. Another one of those toughness plays for Coach Adair and crew. Crisp running the point here for Arizona State. Looking to get it inside to Newman. No, up top Souza instead. One dribble triple. Saved in by Simmons.
I am impressed with the effort of ASU. Keep in mind, they just played their first conference matchup on Thursday night against Arizona at McHale. Traveled down and back and had to catch a flight yesterday, Friday, to get up here. Flight delay, a little bit of weather. We all know the airline trouble. And then they come and play Stanford, the second-ranked team in the nation, and then day off tomorrow, get little practice, and then they'll face Cal on Monday. That game next year, ASU versus Arizona, should not be that late.
Yeah.
Those 2 teams in December, and it will not be. It's going to be December 17th, and that's going to give them a little bit more of a break.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tammy, because Coach Adair was talking on that weekly Zoom saying that Coach Bars and I were going back and forth trying to make something work before Christmas, just couldn't find the day. But you mentioned it, December 17th next year, that'll work out just fine. Nice bounce pass inside to Newman, who floats it home. Coming off the knee injury last year, had surgery, come back strong, and even going back to her high school days, even taller than most. As Betts finishes inside. Lauren Betts is eaten down low here in the 4th quarter. Newman has always been able to move like a guard despite her 6'3" frame.
5-star talent, 2022 McDonald's All-American. You can see why they move Haley Jones out of the post with all the post talent that they have, and they're continuing to develop Lauren Betts, and I suspect that she's excited to be able to get on the court tonight and learn. As Simmons takes a nifty drive. Aggressive, did not back down, didn't worry about what defense was there. She took it all the way to the rim. Good vertical jump too by Simmons.
7 for Simmons to go along with 3 rebounds. Dimitri, nice pass inside. Lauren Betts, a perfect 5 for 5.
And while your teammates are trying to defend things happening on one side, you've got Betts who's working a little action on trying to pick, and then the rejection of the pick. Some other things are happening, and meanwhile she's rolling to the basket. And so those are the things, the concepts and the teachings that Coach Adair will talk about with her team, is that you can't be hugging players that are not necessarily involved in a play. You've got to get over and pay attention to what's going on.
Rose got a foul from behind by Trayana Crisp, who thought she got all or mostly ball. The superstars, Hannah Jump, Cameron Brink, Haley Jones, all having fun on the bench. It's been a good one for the Cardinal tonight, up by 27.
Now in 22 of the last 41, and 9 times this year. Hannah Jump is a safety blanket for this Stanford team, and when you need one, you'll get one from number 33 in Hannah Jump.
Her scoring average has gone up every year from 4.6 as a freshman, 6.7 as a sophomore, 9.2 as a junior, and so far this year 12.6 as a senior. And that was going into this game, so that number will go north.
A big reason why Stanford averages 84 points a game, and it does help that you return 68% of your scoring and 50% of your assists, and you add Lopolo as a new player who is a great passer and just dropping dimes.
Talana Lopolo is second in the conference in assists. 4.8 helpers per game, or 67 assists through 14 games. The most for a Stanford player since at least the 1990-2000 season.
She had 11 assists and no turnovers against my alma mater, San Diego State, which was the most by a Stanford player in their first career game in 22 plus years, Kevin.
Incredible stuff.
Protecting the ball.
You mentioned Stavi Papadaki a little bit earlier. She is in the game right now, number 24 in white for the Cardinal. Try to get it inside to Betts. Poked away by Newman on the post entry. That bounce pass in transition a little too far in front of Treasure Hunt. Season high for Stanford as we look at Coach Adair's 104. They got it against CSUN earlier this year. Second game of the campaign. That is in play. Bozgana, no.
First 5 games of this year, Stanford scored 80-plus points. There was only one other time that they've done that. That was their championship year campaign in 21.
A good omen this year, then.
Uh-huh.
Simmons misses from 15. I remember reading that note. It's like, maybe something special for the Cardinal this year.
They win when they score 80, but they can not score 80 and still win because they hold their opponents to 56 points.
Good footwork on the low block. Just couldn't get it to go. Lauren Betts has 10 points in just 13 minutes. Keeping that uber productive rate up in this one.
Those will fall for Betts in due time.
Hunt. Backing down Dimitri. Puts it up and a little strong. Navarre, the strong rebound. She's got 7 points tonight. Looking for 8 and 9 right here, and she will earn a trip to the charity stripe. It really doesn't get tougher for Arizona State. You start conference play with your first 2 games against 2 teams who played for the national championship game 2 years ago, and then you still have another road game against an improved Cal team. 9 of their first 14 games this year away from Tempe. So this really has kind of been a welcome to the Pac-12 kind of start to the season for Coach Adair and staff.
Yeah, it's tough. They've been on the road, and when you look at who they played in some of their non-conference in a very short amount of time, they also played teams on the road who played in the NCAA tournament last year, at Montana State, at New Mexico. Notre Dame, who was ranked 7th at the time.
And they led Notre Dame at the half.
They did.
They led Mizzou at the half, Missouri at the half. In a game at home earlier this year. But kind of their injuries have had shortened rosters as a result, and maybe just kind of running out of gas late in the game as Stanford has gone north of the century mark thanks to that Brooke Dimitri 3. The last time Stanford scored triple digits in a conference game was 12 years ago almost, and they dropped 100 on the Cougars of Washington State. Block for Lauren Betts. Shot clock off for the Cardinal. See if they run something here. But an emphatic victory for the Cardinal against Arizona State to improve to 2-0 in conference play. Final score, Stanford 101, Arizona State 69. The Cardinal improving to 14-1 overall, 2-0 in Pac-12 play, and the Sun Devils dropping to 7-6. And they'll have to look for their first conference win Monday in Berkeley.
Congratulations to the Stanford Cardinal. Kevin, they're just a lot of fun to watch. They're polished, they're clean. You know, it's like a symphony, all the instruments working together with a maestro that is, leading the way. The way that they run in transition really starts it for me, and then their early post-ups and their looks and how they can settle so simply and brilliantly into a disciplined half-court offense that they focus on. But really, a much improved Stanford defensive team, and a team that Stanford defensively is just a focal point for me, and I'm just so impressed with the way that they defend in so many different levels and different positions.
We will take a break to talk with a star from the Stanford Cardinal, Cameron Brink, on the other side.